Welcome back! Today I'm going to compare the image quality of the Sony 90mm macro to the Canon 100mm macro with MC-11 adapter. Both of these lenses are mine. I've been using the Canon lens for a while and just recently purchased the Sony macro and wanted to see if there was a difference. So I'll be using three objects to photograph. First is a small tiger, next is a small truck, and lastly an orchid flower. So I set up the objects and I'll be using f2.8 and f11 for comparison. So now let's go into Lightroom. Okay, here we are in Lightroom and we're gonna first compare the Tiger with the 2.8. So here I have it selected. We'll go to compare mode and the left is gonna be the Sony and the right is gonna be the Canon. So let's zoom in. And comparing the sharpness, it looks like they both kind of have the same sharpness on the eye. Let's zoom in to 3:1. And it almost looks like, yeah, I can't really tell much of a difference as far as the sharpness goes. It looks like they're about the same on this image. But what I am noticing is if you see over here on the left on the Sony, you have this, I don't know, is that ghosting? I'm not sure what that is. But over here on the Canon, it is not there. But it's here on the Canon side on this part, but over here on the Sony it blends to the background better. So I'm not sure what that really is. Let's check over here. Okay, so now on the Canon, this looks, the nose here looks a lot different than the nose over here. And then if we're looking at the background blur, I mean, it does kind of look like the Sony on the left is a little bit more blended than the Canon on the right, but I mean, it's not that big of a difference. Let's look at the f11. Okay, so we're going to compare the f11 and just looking at the background, it kind of looks the same. Let's zoom into 3:1, and as far as sharpness goes, I mean, it's just not that big of a difference. I can't really tell. The lines look fine there, and the lines look fine here. Everything has clean cut. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, if you're trying to decide if you want to get the Sony macro or just use the Canon MC-11, on this first photograph, I don't see much of a difference. Let's look at the other photographs. So we're gonna go to the truck at f2.8, and I focused on the wheel when I was doing this. And again, the Sony's on the left, the Canon's on the right. In this one it almost looks like the Canon's a little bit sharper, but it might just be because it's the focus point. Looks like it focused right here, whereas the Sony may have focused more on the top part. Let's see the edges, if we can see that weird edge thing going on with this one. Alright, so we got some edge ghosting there. So see, on the Sony, it does look like it blurs into the background better than the Canon, maybe? Even here, Canon has like this line, but the Sony doesn't. But on the back side, the Sony has this more of a ghosting effect and the Canon doesn't. So I don't know, it just depends on the angle, I guess. And the background blur, I mean, I guess the Sony looks like it's a little bit more faded out. Alright, as far as sharpness goes, they look about the same. Here I think the Canon on the right is looking a little bit more sharper than the Sony, like especially the window area. But I don't know, that could just be where I focused. Maybe the focus wasn't exactly at the same point. Let's go to the lines. I mean, there's some weird line stuff on the left. On the right for Canon, it's better. Yeah, I'm just not seeing that big of a difference. Not enough difference to try to push somebody one way or the other. Alright, let's go to the next image. This is going to be the 2.8. And with his, I tried to focus right on the flower right here. So on this one, it looks like the Canon has a better blend than the Sony. Maybe. I don't know. Now down here, the Sony looks better as a blend to the background. I guess it just depends on the angle and the lighting. See, like even this one. Right here. So you see the Canon, this little edge right here, and then the Sony doesn't have it. So I don't know if it's just like changing the lighting with the sun and the clouds or whatever. Not sure what's causing that. But it does look like, I don't know, it looks like everything's pretty much really close. I would not be able to say, oh, this one's better than the other. Okay, so I don't see much difference with the image quality between the two lenses. If you're using the Canon 100mm and you're thinking about switching to the Sony 90mm, I don't see a reason for you to make the switch. The reason I bought the Sony was because I didn't want to use the adapter anymore for the Canon lens, because I didn't like how long it made the lens. It felt too lens heavy, but other than that, I don't see a big reason. If you are trying to decide which one to get for the first time, looks to me that either is fine as far as image quality goes. As far as autofocus, it seems like Canon is a little faster, but I haven't done a real test with that yet. So let me know what your experience is, if you've done similar comparisons, and which lens you prefer to use. Thanks for watching!